Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Unity FM 93.5. I am Shalina Litt. As always, we'll be speaking about the brilliant topic and challenging topic of raising children. So I wanted to mention an article that stuck out to me in the news in the last couple of weeks. And it was about a woman who's recently been sentenced because she killed her child because he hadn't memorized Quran, I think, and he was age 7, etc. And he wasn't reciting correctly. Now, for me, this was quite alarming, and it presented another case similar to that of the case where the daughter had been starved to death. Subhanallah, I can't remember the daughter's name. Kyra Ishaq, no, that was the name. Okay, so yeah, very similar, presenting similar circumstances, and that being the mental well-being of the women that were involved in these cases, and were they managing their Islam correctly? Clearly not, for them to have committed such, horrific, crimes. So, I really want to address once again the importance of the well-being of the parents involved in situations, because this is a male and a female situation. We have fathers, we have mothers. Living in today's society, we're under a lot of pressure, and we really have to learn how to balance and maintain, sanity in a climate where we're put under so many pressures. So joining me this week, alhamdulillah, I'm really happy to say I have the Odari, am I saying it right?
It's Odara.
Odara, okay. Odara organisation with me, represented by Aisha. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So would you like to introduce yourself and your organisation and tell us how this links in?
Yeah, sure. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name's Aisha, and I'm one of the founders of Odara Wellbeing Project, along with my sister Kiran. We actually initially started off this project because it actually began for more of a health and wellbeing subject, and we just wanted to promote that. And what we found was swimming could be a very major aspect, which is obviously everyone knows one of the best ways to keep fit.
Yeah.
And that's where initially the idea come from. And then we started to look into how us women, Muslim women and other women from strong cultural religious backgrounds could fit into the swimming in the Midlands these days, because there isn't much facilities out there for us.
No.
So this is something we want to introduce, inshallah. So we've got the project running, which will be a health and wellbeing spa, where we will promote social, physical, emotional wellbeing for specifically women and their children, inshallah. So what we believe is if women are doing well within themselves, it will obviously reflect onto their own families, if they've got children, husbands, and if they're feeling good within themselves, it will hopefully be passed on to their children and their families.
Absolutely. And what were have you heard about the cases that I was discussing, Kyra Ishaq, and the recent one about the 7-year-old, wa inna lillahi raji'un, and about the fact that, she killed him because he wasn't reciting. What were your first reactions on that?
My first reactions, obviously, like you said, we were alarmed, but straight away you think and you know that this lady was obviously not getting the right support and guidance where she needed it. Maybe it could have been because she didn't know where to turn to when she was unwell, or the people around her didn't actually understand what was happening. We, for one, understand mental health a lot because of personal experiences within family, and we found that there wasn't a lot of help out there for Asian community with mental health, and we found ourselves turning to all sorts of places, trying the NHS, and we just weren't getting what we wanted on a spiritual level for our family member, on an emotional level, because the understanding just was not there. So obviously these women are not finding the right support, and that's obviously something we really want to focus on, because as well as offering this a women-only facility for swimming and health and fitness, inshallah. We also want to promote emotional healing and therapy alongside this, so it could help their mental state as well as their physical. And we would even introduce a social aspect where we would introduce female-only events and children events where everyone can get together, inshallah. So it's very important to have the access.
And it's really needed in the community. And I think the way that you've put it together is a great reflection of the fact that you've identified, due to personal experiences and people around you, that there is a need. And we have to, as a community, take responsibility for some of the actions of the women, you know, that are committing such horrific crimes, you know. And this is what I really want to re-emphasize. I work with a lot of women, and a lot of the women that I work with sometimes come to me and reach out to me, you know, because I'm the bubbly person and what, you know, and they'll slowly open up. And what you'll find is, you know, the bubbliest of characters, the ones that have got the biggest smiles, have usually got, you know, the worst dramas going on behind closed doors, and they're usually severely depressed, you know. And if you're left alone with the kind of thoughts that these women have, you know, they think of suicide, they've got really low self-esteem, then clearly it's going to, you know, have bad effects. Like you said, it's going to be, if they're strong, they've got good self-belief, confidence, it's going to be reflected in the home.
Of course.
And, you know, and this is why I always bring it back to the fact that in order for us to be good and effective parents in the home, we have to look at that social, emotional well-being, because it is all interconnected.
Of course.
So let's take it back a little bit more, you know. Where did it, in essence, what was the first action that you took? Because obviously we have little seeds that grow into these big ones. So I'd really be interested to know, where did this start from? You know, you said the swimming, was it? Was it the swimming that...
Yeah, it did kick off from there. It was just a personal passion of us. Me, my mum, my sister loved to swim.
Yeah.
You know, it's so difficult to find anywhere where they offer a women-only facility, and where they do within the council, you're not always guaranteed female lifeguards and so on, and the hygiene, etc. And there's no, you know, and you have to travel out quite a bit, places like London and all sorts, to find this kind of facility. So we struggled to find somewhere to swim, and we just were so frustrated one day because we were trying to attend a women-only session and we could not find this swimming pool, and it just clicked to us then, because we've always wanted to venture in a business, but not only just on a successful business type. We wanted a business which would benefit the community as well, and that's not easy to come up with something, you know, unique. And it just clicked there, and we were like, you know what, we need to do something, we need to bring something of our own. If no one's doing it, let's bring it in, let's try and inshallah invest in a women-only swimming pool and wellbeing spa. And I mean, initially it was just the swimming we focused on, but then it started slowly it started to expand more, and then we took on emotional healing and therapy courses, and, you know, ventured into that ourselves and invested into, you know, educating ourselves in that department. And I mean, my background is youth and community development, so I do work with foster children, and I do work with them on an emotional and social basis as well. So it all started to just come together, and at the end we had this, you know, we've got this project, and we're very proud of it, and people who hear about it are very excited by it, and we have come to a point where now we can actually see it happening. You know, it was a vision first, and now we can see this vision actually becoming reality, inshallah. So we need a bit of time. It's a massive project, so it will take, we can say, about a year, inshallah, to get started, so you can actually come in and, you know, explore it. So inshallah, we just need all the support we can get at the moment.
So obviously this is going to be for women specifically, more geared towards them, and obviously, you know, giving them that ease. So are there going to be childcare facilities in terms of, you know, if for example, if I wanted to attend, I've got kids with me, Are you catering for that?
Well, inshallah, we are definitely trying to bring a creche, on-site creche, into this as well. So that what we minimum do want to start with is a swimming pool, a hammam. I don't know if you've heard of a hammam, the Middle Eastern version of a sauna. So they use them in Morocco and Turkey quite a bit, and they're actually segregated as well. You'll have your female and your male hammams, and so they're on a large scale facility, and it's sort of like a social aspect of a cleansingness. So the ladies will it's a sort of a natural way of cleansing yourself and your body and your skin, and there's all sorts of health benefits. So we'll have a hammam, a swimming pool, and an on-site creche, inshallah, and a small gym facility. Fabulous. So that's what we want to start with. So yeah, because we know how it is. My sister's got children of her own, and it can be an issue sometimes for women to leave, isn't it, with their children at home. So we will try our best, inshallah. Okay,
brilliant. So I've also done quite a few shows about the fact that our young people are very confused. They are struggling to manage their Muslim identity, their British identity, and often their national heritage, where their parents come from, be that Pakistan, Bangladesh, etc. You said that you've got experience of working with youth. Have you come across this with your own experiences?
Yes, I can totally relate to what you're saying. I've seen it. I've been working with young people now for the past 5 years, and I do believe a lot of them, they just need the right guidance. That's all it is. And youth workers, I don't think that the role is valued enough anymore. It used to be such a big thing, and as soon as I qualified, the whole department went down, as you know, in the council. So what I'm doing is working with an independent private service, so thankfully I do get to do my youth work and education work in that department. But your mainstream youth, they don't get that guidance as much as they should. So I think bringing in within our service, having possible life coaches, mentors, youth workers, eventually building up on this project, we can do so much, not just for the women and not just for children, for the young people, and eventually men as well, inshallah. We can there could be a Odara section for the men, but
and what does Odara mean? Because I think it's a beautiful name, and what does it mean?
Well, Odara actually comes from an African term, and it actually means beautiful woman.
Okay.
And we did like the sound of it, so we heard the word before we saw the meaning. And when we looked into the meaning, it said beautiful woman. So I can't say exactly which African country. It's something we're still working on trying to find out. But we just thought it went, and it sounded quite East.
So this sounds like a really big project. And may Allah aid you to be successful in achieving it, inshallah. If anybody wants to get in touch with you, maybe they want to take part in this project or help some way,
of course,
how can they get in touch with you?
Well, we have got a website which is under construction at the moment, and we've got your Facebook page which is up and running at the moment, which you'll find on Odara CWP. It will stand for Community Wellbeing Project, so it's Odara ODARA CWP. So you can add us on Facebook, inshallah, and what we're doing, the website will be www.odarawellbeing.com. So that's under construction. It should be up and running within the next month or so, inshallah. So we'll put on all our projects and what we're trying to do and what we've already done on there, and you can follow us. So
excellent. Okay, and you have an event coming up, I believe?
Yes, we do. We do run a few social events for the community just to get the word out and to help us kickstart the project. So our next event is a female-only girls' night out, which will be an evening full of showcase for women. So, we've got all female entertainment, so we've got a comedian, and then we've got a star workshop, and we've got a lot more going on. We've got a lot going on that evening, so if you do add us on the Facebook page, you'll see the event. There's a 3-course meal included, and a chocolate fountain and henna art and all sorts going on for the evening, and we'll be giving away genuine designer handbags and stuff to ladies as well. So please, it'll be great to see local ladies there, and sign you up to our our project, so you can know what's going on.
Yeah, brilliant. And when is that?
It will take place, inshallah, on Saturday, 2nd of February of this year, and it will be a 5:30 to 11:30 event at Haveli Restaurant, which is on the Coventry Road.
Okay.
And we've booked out the top floor, so it will be all private. There'll be all female staff, female waitresses.
Wow.
Separate buffet for us from the restaurant downstairs, so it'll be all specially tailor-made for us. And you can purchase tickets by calling either myself or Kiran. I'll give the numbers out as well in a minute.
Yeah.
And you can also purchase tickets from Impressions, which is a beauty salon on Coventry Road as well. That's a ladies only beauty salon, so you can contact them for tickets. Haveli Restaurant will also have access to tickets, so please get in touch. It will be a really interesting and fun event. So
now I recently went out to I like to get around to the local events, and I just want to tie in really, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but when I go to events, a lot of the sisters in the community, a lot of them are on the large side, and are overweight, etc. And I often see or hear that they're not happy. And I just have to re-emphasize that what you're planning to do is quite big in terms of, what is in the community, and I was speaking to Osama Ray Douglas. He works with an event called Teenagers, and he does various things in the community. And we were talking about the different levels of success that you can have: emotional success, physical success, spiritual success. And for example, these women that I were talking about earlier, that had committed these crimes in terms of with their children, we would know that spiritually they didn't have success. I mean, if you find yourself in the front line of Fajr prayer, then in essence you're spiritually successful because you got up and you got there. And I think as a community we have to come together, and really support what it is you're doing. I know there's a hadith where it says, if you want to know what a community is like, then look at the women. And my recent little struggle with weight loss or whatever, or trying to establish a good lifestyle for myself and maintain a good well-being, meant that I had to physically start to work out and whatever, and it's not easy to do it. The sweating, it's an uncomfortable situation you're in there. But this is why I'm saying that physically I may be successful, and I had to go through that process of being successful and feeling what it likes to be successful. But it doesn't mean that I'm successful overall. And what we're trying to establish, and what I think your organisation can be part of in contributing to that, inshallah, is giving the Muslim woman, or the Muslims in our community, that full success, holistic success. Because when we look at these things, for example, the fact that a lot of Muslims are overweight, we're not practicing the religion correctly, because we're trying to attain that spiritual well-being, that emotional well-being. And the Quran and Sunnah is a way of life. It does direct us towards that. Would you agree that your organisation is contributing towards this?
Most definitely. I love the word you just used, holistic, because I do think that sums up exactly the route we're trying to take. We're trying to just introduce natural remedies, natural ways of living your life, and the Quran obviously and Islam reflects this totally, and that's where we've got our inspiration from to start with. So I would totally agree with that. It's a lovely way.
I was driving through I'm not going to label the area just in case I get in trouble. But I was driving through an area and I was disgusted to see the amount of rubbish that was in this area, and I thought, wow, there are an abundance of Muslims in this area. And we know that cleanliness is half of your faith. This is what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us. And I thought, so clearly where there are an abundance of Muslims, there should be a clean area. There should be an abundance of cleanliness, you know. But this is not the case, you know. People are moving into predominantly European areas, you know, where to actually because of the hygiene, you know. And the reason I'm raising this is because we have to look at these things and stop sweeping things under the carpet. As a community, we have to reflect to those looking at us as a group, you know, as Muslims, that Islam is the way to be successful. So, you know, I think what you're doing is really good. So just to reaffirm, we're actually coming up to the end of the first part, and I'm really commending what you're doing, and I really hope that Allah aids you to be successful, inshallah.
You're totally understanding the whole ethos of the project as well, which is, you know, really giving us the confidence to carry on, because when we hear people understanding what we're trying to do, that just only drives us to do more. So
and it's beautiful when we have gone through our own hardships, and Allah puts us in a position to serve, you know, the community, but as a service to Allah as well. You know, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, you know. It's a beautiful thing, and I think that's what's great, because a lot of people can go through hardships and make it through their hardships, but it takes a real noble person and courageous person to use what they've gone through in their own life and say, okay, now that I've gone through this and I know how I got through it with my religion, I'm going to reach out to the community and do this. And in essence, that's what you've done, I think, on a larger scale. You know, you're now presenting what you needed, because I've spoken to so many sisters who have said they want to go somewhere, they want to just leave their kids, and they want to just do what they're doing, swimming, go to the gym, you get their hair done, have that place to have respite.
That's all you need.
It's so important, you know. And recently, you know, I've gone and had the odd facial, you know, and it's places I've never ventured before, and I realised that it's really important, because, you know, there's lack of understanding in the community of, you know, men understanding women and women understanding men. You know, the divorce rate in the community, let's face it, is sky high.
It is.
You know, and, you know, I really think that what you're doing here, in essence, where are you planning on doing this project?
Well, we want to obviously reach out to everybody in the Midlands, so it will be Birmingham, inshallah, and we are actually looking into the Borsley area, which will cover your Stratford Road, Spark Hill, Allen Rock, Washwood Heath. We're trying to get somewhere central where all the women can get to. I mean, we're not just trying to reach out to our Asian women, as much as that's where you probably will get your most clientele from, because of the privacy we're offering. You will get the women who just want that extra comfortable environment, or who just feel conscious about their bodies and don't feel comfortable swimming amongst other men. So inshallah, we're just trying to get some essential, maybe outskirts of city centre would also be good. So this is something we're finding right now, so the location will be confirmed inshallah the next few months, and then that's when we can all. But
you've got a rough idea of where it's going to be, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an area where, you know, everyone can find it.
And what I've often found as well is that where there are ladies only places, non-Muslims have been attending.
Yes,
you know, because there are some non-Muslim men that say, hey, great, you know, my other half can go somewhere and I can be reassured that there are no men there, you know, and there are people that agree with this idea, which is great, because it's also an opportunity for us to give dawah to those that don't know about Islam,
our lifestyles, and why we choose to do what we do.
So just to reaffirm then, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, they can get in touch with you via your Facebook, is it you're saying? And numbers, we need numbers.
Yes, sure. You can contact us on our mobile, so it's Aisha on 078 305 22774.
One more time, slow it down. Imagine someone's with a pen and paper and they're like, what? I didn't get that.
Sorry. We'll do that again. So it's 078 305 22774. that's myself. And you can get my sister Kiran on 079 4177 1055. I'll say that again, that's 079 4177 105. And our email contact is contact@Odara Wellbeing, so it's ODARA wellbeing.com, all as one word. And our website, which will inshallah be running in the next couple of months, will be www.odarawellbeing.com.
Okay, and the event is February
the 2nd. Saturdays, February the 2nd, 5:30 to 11:30 at Haveli Buffet Restaurant.
Excellent. So let's work together as a community. You know, this is not about looking at just an event. This is looking at, you know, where this event is going, the fact that it's contributing to the well-being of the Muslim woman, who we know is key in our ummah, you know, to raising children, inshallah. So, you know, often people are like, what has that got to do with, you know, XYZ? It's got a lot to do with raising children. So let's remember that. Jazakallah khairan for coming in, Aisha, and, you know, may Allah, you know, grant you all the success with this initiative, inshallah. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'll see you after the break, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.